Hi, I'm Alex. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today we are picking my March TBR, which I had been planning on doing like a random number generator, but I just wanted to do something a little more creative that I haven't done before. So I brainstormed long and hard to try to pick something new, and I think we're going to be playing the TBR lottery. So if you've ever bought like a Powerball or a Mega Millions ticket, the way that you do it is you pick your numbers, and you can get them random, but you can also pick if you want. So I am going to be picking 5 numbers because that's the usual for lottery tickets. And then we're going to like randomly shuffle my TBR list using like an Excel formula, bringing out a little bit of that data analyst skill, and see what we end up reading. So I currently have 84 books on my TBR, which I started the year at over 90, and I've read 17. I've added a few, but I've knocked 17 books off my TBR so far this year, which for being the end of February is great. But I want to knock off a few more. So I went through my TBR list and I took out any book that was not like the next one in a series. So like if I'm on book 3, I took off book 4 because obviously I need to read book 3 first. I took off all of my like Christmas holiday romances. It's March. I'm not in the mood for that right now. And then I also took off a couple classics. I have like Anna Karenina and Jane Eyre on my TBR, but I just know it's not going to happen this month, so there is no point in me having them in this video to just sit in a pile that is not going to get touched. So we are going with 74 books, which I feel like is a pretty good number. So first we're gonna pick my like lottery numbers for the month. So they are going to be things that are like meaningful, lucky numbers, those kinds of things, just numbers that you would pick if you were going into a lottery, between 1 and 74. So the first one is going to be 11. That is my lucky number, so I obviously need to play that. The second one is going to be 13 because we love Taylor Swift in this house. The third one is going to be 24 because it's 2024. That's not the most creative, but that is what I could come up with. The fourth one is going to be 41 because April 1st is our 1-year wedding anniversary, so 4-1. And the last one is going to be 68. It's my husband's like number. That's what he was in like football when he was younger, but also the due date of our baby. So I'm going to start the screen recording now, and we are going to randomize this list in Excel and see what books I get. We're going to pick 5 like this, and then the next 5 numbers we'll like pause and do after I remove those 5 from this list. So let's do that. Okay, I'm just going to assume it's going, but I don't... Usually there's like a stop button and stuff on the screen and it's not showing up, so we'll see how this goes. But essentially you're going to go into a column and type rand, equals rand, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and it'll generate random numbers for every column that you have. And then you're going to highlight the columns, go into data, which I know is not like showing in the recording, but sort by column C, smallest to largest, and now we're in random numbers. So starting with book number 11, which is I'll Eat When I'm Dead. I've owned this book for so long. It honestly has not interested me in a long time, so we'll see if we actually get to it this month. Book number 13, which is If Only I Had Told Her, which I was super excited about until I saw Destiny Citadel read it and did not enjoy it, although sometimes my opinions and hers are not the same, so we'll see how I feel about it. Then book number 24, which is Do I Know You by Austin Stephen Broca and Emily Wibberley. I loved The Roughest Draft. I haven't read any of their other books yet, so we'll see how that one is. The next one is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This is another one that's been sitting on my TBR for so long, and I've been avoiding starting it just because I'm in the middle of so many series, but I guess this is the month for that. So what are we at? 4? And then the last one is 60 It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Another book that I have been putting off for the absolute longest time. So again, we'll see how that goes. Alright, so we're down now to 69 books, which I considered taking one out just to avoid the jokes, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use a random number generator, just honestly the Google one, because that one's the easiest to use. And do numbers between 1 and 69. We're going to pick 5 more numbers and see what happens. So the first one is 57. I should write these down maybe. The first one is 57. The second one is 18. The third one is 61. And 54. Lots of high numbers in this. And the last one is 12. So there is the next 5. And then we're going to go back into the spreadsheet. We're going to once again do the formula to randomize. All of these get assigned new numbers. So they should be easy to randomize. And then we're going to sort them. Smallest to largest. That did not sort smallest to largest. Okay, it still didn't, but whatever. It's randomized now. So, starting with the help of the numbers were in it. Number 12 is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, which is good because I have been wanting to read that. It's the second book to Six of Crows. And I read Six of Crows in like September, so it's been a while and I would like to know what happens to those characters. 18 is The Guncle. I don't remember who the author is on this, but I do know that a second book just came out or is about to come out in this like series, so I need to read that. Next one is 54. Which is A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee, which is good, another fantasy book. And then 57 is The Long Game by Elena Armis, which I love her books, and The Fiancé Dilemma comes out sort of soon, so it'll be good to be caught up with her again. And then the last one is 61, which is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, which is perfect because I actually have the audiobook on hold at Libby right now. So let me go grab all of those books and then we will go over the full TBR for the month. Okay, so we're going to start with the 10 on my TBR, and then I have 2 bonus books that I have had the hold on at the library for so long, and they're finally going to be available this month, so I'm definitely going to try to get to those as well. So starting with The Guncle by Stephen Rowley. This is about someone's gay uncle who is spending time with them in Palm Springs or for like vacations or when he goes back to Connecticut for the holidays. One of the things on my book bingo was actually something that's set in the state that I live in, and I live in Connecticut, so maybe this will do that, but it's supposed to be really funny. I think this one's mostly set in Palm Springs, so probably not, but people really enjoyed it, and like I said, the second book comes out sometime in the next few months, so I'm excited about that. I've had it on my TBR for a while. My daughter is gonna have a gay uncle. Cooper, if you're watching this, hello. But I am excited to just read that and see what it is. So the next book is A Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I know everybody like loves this. I genuinely don't even know what it's about. I think I'm just gonna keep it that way. I don't know. The cover says he has a heart of ice, but for her he'd burn the world, which, love that. We love men who would do anything for their women. The third book on here is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. So this one I've been avoiding for a long time because I don't love Tessa Bailey's writing. It's not my favorite. I find it often lacks plot. But I've heard that this is Schitt's Creek inspired, and Schitt's Creek is one of my favorite TV shows, so I am excited to read this one. I've actually been like itching to pick it up, so that's good. And I know both of these are on Kindle Unlimited, I'm pretty sure. And if a book is on Kindle, I'm way more likely to read it. Next one is Do I Know You by Emily Wibberley and Austin Stephen Roca. This tagline on the back says, when a couple starts to feel like they're married to a stranger, a flirtatious game of pretend becomes the spark they need to reignite their friendship. I know a lot of people didn't like this. A lot of people don't like their writing in general. I loved the roughest draft. I have high hopes for this, but I also know that their last couple of releases have been like flops for people, so we'll see. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I am hoping that I enjoy it, so I don't know. Next one is The Long Game by Elena Armas, which is about a professional soccer player who has to like coach kids or something. I always love her books. I was a big fan of The Spanish Love Deception, rated at 5 stars. Really like The American Roommate Experiment too. That one was a 4.5 for me, so I'm hoping this one's good. And then, like I said, The Fiancé Dilemma, I think comes out in June, which is her next book. Then we have I'll Eat When I'm Dead by Barbara Borland. The first like paragraph of the description says, when stylish Hillary Whitney dies alone in a locked windowless conference room at the offices of Rage Fashion Book, her death is initially ruled an unfortunate side effect of the unrelenting pressure to be thin, but her best friend and fellow editor Catherine knows that her friend's dieting wasn't a capital P problem, and if beauty could kill, it would take more than that. So this sounds like it's like a mystery. They're trying to solve the case of the death, I guess. Clearly, I have no idea. I picked this up from like a used book sale for $1, and it was in like pretty decent condition, and I was just trying to grow my library at the time, but maybe it's time to actually read it. Next one is A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. So this is about Felicity, which I always wanted to name a kid that, and my husband was very anti that name, so that was sad. But Felicity is back at her like private school that was her home until the tragic death of her girlfriend. She has her old room in her old dorm that's rumored to be haunted. Group of students that all died by a group of students who all died mysteriously. Some say the girls were witches. I think this is supposed to be fantasy, but it sounds like it's more mystery. We'll see. I've heard like good things about the book, but just not what the plot of the book is, which is totally fine. It's dark academia though, which I usually enjoy, although not like this. I didn't enjoy The Secret History, and I didn't enjoy If We Were Villains, so most dark academia I like, but we'll see. Next one is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book to Six of Crows, and there's a permanent sticker on it, which is sad. Six of Crows ends on a pretty large cliffhanger, I would say. Not the kind of cliffhanger, I feel like Leigh Bardugo always does this, not the kind of cliffhanger that you feel like you need to pick up the next book like absolutely immediately, but that you know you're gonna need to read it at some point because you can't just not know what happens to the characters. So I'm really excited to get into this. It is a little bit thicker, so hopefully I can find a Kindle version of it, so I don't have to deal with holding the paperback. It's such a first world problem. The next one is If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nowlin. This is the second book to If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. I read that one in January, and I think this is supposed to be from Finn's point of view, but apparently there are other points of view in here, so we will see. I love this cover. It's so like smooth and soft and so nice to hold. And then the last one is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I think the tagline of this is twins, inseparable as children, ultimately choose to live in two very different worlds, one black and one white. I think it's supposed to be like lit fic, but it has to do with like race, and I think it'll be very interesting. We'll see. And then the two books that are like bonuses to my TBR. The first one is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I have had a hold on this book for so long. It's just a YA like mystery thriller about a private school in Vermont. And there's a couple that disappears, not a couple, a wife and daughter who are kidnapped and they disappear. It becomes one of the greatest unsolved crimes in history. So then one of the students at the school tries to like solve it. So that one sounds like fun to me and sort of similar to The Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I think a lot of people do compare it to that, so I'm curious. And then the last one is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This has no description on it. I just know that it's like YA fantasy. Everybody loves this. Everybody loves the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. One of my like good friends just read this and she like loved it, so I'm really excited to get into this. I'm trying not to like give myself any more information than that. So those are the 12 books that I would like to read in March. I hope you enjoyed this TBR lottery game, and I will see you in the next one.